You are now listening to the podcast for geeks and the stuff they love, where each week we'll talk about everything from anime to movies, games, and prop collecting with the people who create and love it. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Vince.
I'm James.
And this is your Geek Fix.
This is your Geek Fix. Bye.
There you go. So, this last week, an anime came out, an animated movie that had actually been released a long time ago, but everyone was waiting desperately for this release of the dubbed version, and I'm one of those people that prefers the dubbed version of things, and it's called Suzume.
Nice.
Yeah. And so some people might have already watched it using the subtitles, but the thing that was interesting to put in context for me, because literally I watched it for New Year's Eve.
Okay.
And if you're familiar with the show, and you keep in mind what happens in that show and what it's about, what happened in the next 2 days in Japan kind of plays into this, as well as what's been happening overall. So it's a fairly new show. Like they have cell phones and everything else in it. In fact, I think at one point in time they even referred to something else that's really recent. But at the same time, as you know, a lot of Japan over time, in fact, they're trying to compensate for this right now, and we had even a podcast about it not too long ago, is that a lot of people are leaving a lot of these towns, and there's so much. There was a boom at one point in time where Japan was trying to infuse its infrastructure and its culture and the building and stuff. So like all these small towns got tons of money they didn't even know what to do with. Like some of them bought crazy crap, like a giant golden dog to put in the town square, or stuff like that. Or they opened up or started building like big theme parks, or they started building other things, and a lot of it you didn't even get finished because then it was followed by a crash and stuff, and then populations were just leaving and dying off from all these areas. So there's so much of Japan now that is just empty towns, or like I said, like with the theme parks, like they'd build the theme park and it never opens, and so you get this ghosty theme park is out there. And the idea with this show, which I highly recommend, I really liked it a lot. The whole idea is that basically the thing that's driving, all the natural disasters in Japan is that these doors will open inside these places like that. And the door, literally a door, like some door that used to be part of a building, opens up and a spirit worm comes out of it. And if the door doesn't get closed by a closer in time, which is what they call the people that are in it, then this worm falls down and it destroys everything, and it makes this. It's where the earthquakes come from.
Okay.
And just wipes everything out and stuff, and the other bad disasters would happen and stuff, and then the next day, we have this enormous earthquake in Japan. Yeah. Which was really horrible. They've actually had quite a few more, than normal, and we talked about that already on this channel. But then on top of that, then you have planes that collide and explode and stuff within a few days. All these things that just feels like all this stuff's going on. But having watched this show, it's like in my mind there's all this extra context that I know isn't real, but it's hard not to be like, oh my gosh. Somebody needs to get out there and close the door.
The normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I highly recommend this show, though. It is if you like Studio Ghibli kind of, and that type of, that level of animation and artwork, that's kind of the style that is to it. And the storyline.
It looks like the Your Name kind of thing again.
Yeah, kind of a slice of life look almost to it. But on the flip side, I mean, the storyline is really good. It's very entertaining. I mean, they balance some pretty heavy stuff with at the same time having some humor and things throughout it. So
it says it was inspired by the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami in 2011.
Which that area has just now rebuilt. So if you're familiar with that, or if you watch abroad in Japan and stuff, Ken Watanabe is actually who helped to rebuild that area. The guy that starred in things like the Last Samurai and stuff like that. Like he helped to rebuild all that area and to revitalize it and things. But I mean, that's after years. So, but on the flip side, I mean, tsunamis and everything else that can occur, this is kind of, Japan has a history of trying to make sense of natural things or of tragedies in ways like this. I mean, because of nuclear events and the bomb and everything else, you have things like Godzilla, stuff like that. Like how do we
earthquakes were caused by big fish underwater, like the big catfishes. They would consider
the spiritual ones.
Also, one thing I do notice, and that's just outsiders looking in, but also having been in Japan when Typhoon Lan came over while we're in the airplane. Typhoons are scary stuff, and I don't want to
minimize
minimize whatever's happening, but there is also a lot of sensationalist stuff happening about deadly typhoons where a whole area was hit, and I'm not putting a value on it, but only one drunk fisherman got caught between a boat, and then it's suddenly a deadly typhoon, so to say. So people didn't take due diligence and didn't heed the warnings or whatever. And it's still sad that they got killed, of course. But then it gets blown up in the media, like especially when we were there, we had like The Independent, which is a very trashy news source. But that was the only thing we would get, like in English, information about the weather there. And then it was like, you're heading into a death zone, and it's going to be cows flying over. It's going to be Twister all over again,
and everything's just going normal.
Basically a heavy storm with a lot of rain, and it doesn't mean it's a cyclone, typhoon. It means it's a strong wind and strong rain. Tsunamis are a different kind, of course, but earthquakes also. But
it's kind of like when you go to LA, though, where like if you go to LA and you're there long enough, you're going to be there through some earthquakes, and everybody around you is going to be acting like nothing happened.
It's normal,
Whereas on the other hand, you're like, that wasn't good for me.
No.
I don't know.
But also, I mean, I do appreciate that because I haven't seen it. I'm gonna look into it because I've been watching some anime. I got a Crunchyroll subscription, so I finished.
Which is how you would access this is Crunchyroll. Okay. So that's perfect.
Not sponsored.
Not
like
sponsored.
But I've been watching Mob Psycho, like the new season.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah,
that's a good choice. Yeah, and, I like Mob Psycho a lot.
Jujutsu Kaisen was okay as well. Like
recently was
Titan was terrible. The last season I didn't like it.
Well, you got 7. Yeah.
The whole Eren Yeager
I like a lot. There's a lot of like small ones. If you do have Crunchyroll, there's a lot of small stuff and even historical. I mean, like shows that are pretty old now, like from the 80s and stuff. That were just standard TV shows that you can access on there.
Which is a good. Like, there's a lot of isekai stuff happening now with My Life as a Drunk Robot Bartender or whatever.
It's always long. They're always really long. Long titles, the time I became something, and then something else happened, and this and that. And it's like, is that the title?
And then they actually take a stab at it, saying these titles for the light novels were actually too long to fit in here, so we made them shorter.
Right,
and that's like the whole title of the category. So that's fun.
Yeah, but there's one where the guy becomes a vending machine.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's sent back in time to the kind of medieval era as a vending machine that can change to different types of vending machines from Japan. But it gives you like context and history. It's kind of funny and stuff. It was an okay show.
Also, there was also this one in Netflix, when they could time travel back in onsen to ancient Rome or something.
Oh, I wrote to Chris Broad about that show.
Yeah,
because there's three things. The thing I think was funny about it is basically they're trying to take credit. So Japan's basically the lady that writes it. The upside to that Netflix version is only the Netflix version, not the Crunchyroll version. Has the lady, the author at the end, go and visit different onsen. But at the same time, like she's trying to take credit for Japan, taking credit for hot springs. And developing the Roman ones that were around because this guy got inspired by time traveling to the different Roman to the different hot springs in Japan, including doing liquor and stuff like that. But then I thought that was pretty funny.
It's funny, but so terrible. Like, exactly.
It's pretty good.
But I'm glad to see that the quirky anime is still a thing and it's happening. And
and that's not going to go anytime soon.
No, but
this
it's good
this
fun.
is a short episode, but at the same time,
I'll shut up.
I thought it was funny. I thought we're going to take off today for the most part, but at the same time, if you got shows, again, the thing we said at the beginning of the month, if you've got shows, if you got things that you want us to check out or review, or that you want to share with the community, let us know in the comments below, and also let us know if there's something that you want us to kind of integrate. We a long time ago, we did the anime. We did 2 episodes we went through and we reviewed anime. That's one of my favorite episodes that we did. It was just a lot of fun and stuff. So if you want us to do something like that again, it would help to also know what episodes or what shows you'd want us to kind of go over or to do. So
if you want us to review Neon Genesis Evangelion, all the parts and endings, then
there you go.
Last year I read through the whole manga, and I know people say that it's so good, and so it didn't do anything from
there's also just to keep it short, but there's also like this 140 episode Battle of the Stars or something anime. Like it's like Gundam, but it's even more boring. It's like Prussians in space. And it's like this anime. I tried to watch it, but it's like 17 generations or whatever of people wearing like dresses and suits in space. And like the whole arc is like 100 episodes about one ship trying to invade another colony or something.
We might have to use that one as one of the examples.
And we can do like a Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah. I can totally see us doing something like that. So that's something. Some ideas we're throwing out there to us, but let us know what you think, and we'll catch you this next month.
Yes.
If you've enjoyed this podcast and want more, stay tuned for that, but also check out our channel, join the community on YouTube that goes by the same name, Your Geek Fix. Be sure to check out Vinz on Twitter at massivedmg_ and on his YouTube channel, massivedmg. Check out James at Mr. Malto4 on Instagram and the Replica Prop Forum. We also want to hear from you, so be sure to send your questions, stories, and other projects to yourgeekfix@gmail.com. In the meantime, this has been Your Geek Fix.